Man, you know, on my previous video, I was upset with the Witcher 3 update performance, but I have to say, and I didn't even mention it on the previous video because I needed to, just take a deep breath, calm down, to talk about the HDR. And they got it right, and it is absolutely amazing. So if you want to update a game, if you want to, remake or any graphical enhancement, the HDR should be number one. Number one. It doesn't cost you FPS. There's no performance impact. That's a no-brainer. If any developer is expecting people to pay for a 4090 to play with ray tracing and all of that, are you expecting people to play on SDR? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. If someone is spending over $3,000 on a PC and playing on SDR, they need to get more information because that budget was not, well organized. The display is the most important component of your gaming experience. You can have a $7,000 gaming PC. If you play on a crappy display, you are not going to see what that PC can give you. So a great display is required, but once you have that, HDR, it's a no-brainer, and they got it right. They got it right. It is absolutely amazing. And I'm going to share with you some screenshots and only one problem that I found with the HDR, but it is something you have to see side by side. Maybe nobody is going to notice that. But I also watched the gaming tech video. And I mean, I know him. I know that he checks everything. He triple checks everything. And I am sure it's just his PC. On his PC, it's not working. But on my PC, the HDR is supporting the system level calibration. And I'm going to show you some screenshots. So basically, you have this now on Windows 11. You have this HDR calibration app. And that HDR calibration app creates a profile. So once you finish, for example, with this LG C1, you do 0, 780, 780, and 0. And then when you open any auto HDR supported game, or some games like this, The Witcher 3, that is supporting the system level calibration, then the maximum peak brightness that you're going to get on the game is that 797 basically, and that's what I have here. This is a Witcher 3 on DirectX 12 with HDR, and it is supporting the HDR calibration app. So maybe with on the gaming tech's PC, maybe it's not working. Sometimes Windows is like that. Sometimes things don't work. For example, I've been having an issue lately that the CPU utilization is not being reported correctly by MSI Afterburner, or if I use the NVIDIA overlay. It just does not report the CPU utilization correctly. It says 3%, 4%, and I don't know why. I reinstalled the drivers, Windows updates. I would need to maybe do something with the motherboard's BIOS. Sometimes it's like that. But on my PC, I'm going to show you that if I take a screenshot here of this fire, I have the 797 nits because it is supporting the system level calibration. So what I do to test this is very simple. If you have a PC, just take a screenshot, Alt F1, or of course you have to take the screenshot without the MSI Afterburner numbers. Just take it using Alt F1 or Windows Alt and print screen, and that uses the game bar to take the screenshot. See? So then what you're gonna do is you open that screenshot with the HDR WCG image viewer app. And with this app, you can see the max CLL 797 nits. So the max CLL is the maximum peak brightness that the game is calling for. So on this LG C1, we have HGIG, which means no tone mapping on the TV. That's what it means. So if the game is calling for up to 797 nits, that is perfect, because the TV does not need to do any tone mapping. The TV is going to display accurately what the game is asking for, and the HDR is going to be fantastic. So you look at the fire here, there's no clipping, all the details in the brightness can be seen. And it is perfect. But let me show you the defect that I find on The Witcher 3 using anti-aliasing. Actually, this is something that I've been observing in more than one game, but here was very evident. Look at this. This is with TAA-U and without TAA-U. Both pictures are on the same spot. No, actually, this is a picture on the menu. Let me see. Okay, now it's not on the menu. So it looks the same. It looks the same. Because I realized, oh, wait a minute. This is the menu here, and this doesn't have the menu, so maybe it's because the menu is affecting the picture. No. Let me close this one and open this one that doesn't have. Okay. So look at this. It's the same spot, and they are both asking for 797 nits. So max CLL 797 nits here, but if you look at the sun, you cannot see it. You cannot see it well. It's like super bright. All of this is bright. And if you look at this one, it's the same, max CLL 797, but you can see the sun, and it's very easy to see. It's like rounded, no problem whatsoever. So this is with TAA-U, and this is without anti-aliasing at all. No anti-aliasing. So that problem I've been observing for a while, that anti-aliasing is causing HDR peak brightness loss. So for example, when I use a cell phone app to measure peak brightness, and I need to use a stable light sources. Like for example, if I use this fire here, it's changing all the time because the fire is an animation. So I need to look for a stable light source like the sun or the moon, something like that. When I use anti-aliasing, I lose a little bit of peak brightness. But here, not only that, the anti-aliasing is affecting the image, and it's affecting the presentation with the HDR. But aside from that problem, the contrast of the image is perfect. There's no black level rays, so I do not have to use the fine-tune dark areas option or anything else. It's perfect. So no screen brightness setting, nothing, just HGIG, and it looks fantastic. No problem whatsoever. So yeah, right now I'm running the game max out without ray tracing, with DLSS balance and sharpness on low, and it doesn't look it doesn't look very good. It's a little bit blurry, and yeah, I'm not happy with it, and the performance is not good enough. Look at that. The GPU is bottleneck, 86-82%. So I am getting CPU bottleneck with a 5800X 3D. That's a joke, man. It's absolutely insane. That makes no sense whatsoever. No sense whatsoever. and it goes down to the 70s if I go to more demanding areas. So just the performance delta, now I'm getting 112 frames. That performance delta is not acceptable, man. That's not good enough. So in some areas with a lot of MPCs, because that puts a load on the CPU, it gets even worse. Look at now. The GPU is at 72%. That makes no sense. But you know, they will fix it. They just didn't have time to work on it. They announced this update like a year ago, I believe. They didn't have enough time to get it right. But that's okay. The HDR is very good though. I do have to celebrate that. It seems like they did pay attention to the HDR, or they just have somebody that does a great job with that, because it does look very, very good. Very, very good. Much better than with the auto HDR from Windows 11, because the auto HDR from Windows 11 had color banding everywhere, and the color banding here was resolved, completely resolved. There's no color banding I can see anywhere, and especially the contrast of the image is perfect, like no issues whatsoever. The contrast is fantastic. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. I always like to show that HDR WCG image viewer app, because you can use it even if you have a console, a PC, doesn't matter. Just take a screenshot and open the screenshot with the Windows PC, with the Windows 11 PC. That's it. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And yeah, I'm just gonna wait until they fix the game, but I do have to say that the HDR is very good. A lot of stuttering, shader compilation stutters everywhere. Is a mess. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions.